HP has subscription laptops now by Linus Tech tips. Ah, yes. We went from subscriptions for printers to subscriptions for laptops. It probably sounds worse than it actually is, or it's actually worse than it actually sounds. Who knows? Yeah. Just like they've been pushing more subscriptions for consoles, even like renting the entire console through cloud, right? They're now trying to also apparently do this. It's gonna be interesting. Guys, we're getting closer and closer to you will own nothing and you'll be happy. Klaus Schwab is probably seal clapping right now. Anyways, we'll go into this. Also, please consider liking and subscribing. I appreciate it.
How is it that everything is a subscription these days? At work, I spend hundreds of thousands of dollars a year on software, and then in my—
You want my personal hot take? You want my personal— okay, so we're gonna quickly enter conspiracy theory, right? I'm quickly gonna enter conspiracy theory. Hot take, okay? Subscriptions are inherently communist because they make you own literally nothing, which is at the end of the day the goal. It is at the end of the day the goal is to own nothing. You don't own your house, you don't own your car, you own nothing and you'll be happy. Moving on.
my personal life, I'm expected to subscribe to everything from cloud storage to healthy junk food to toothbrushes to get the aforementioned junk food out of my braces. Do you guys remember the one for coins for laundry? Just $14.99 a month for $10 in quarters. And if you want my 2 bits, that right there is the problem. I'm always paying way more than if I just bought the stuff outright in the first place. This whole you'll own nothing and you'll like it philosophy has infected everything. And now
Klaus Schwab is happy. Klaus Schwab would like to know your location. Everything will be eventually subscription based. You'll see it. You'll see it. Everything will eventually be subscription based. Everything. Like I said, your laptop, your car. Technically, if you want to take it very literally, rent is technically only a subscription. Bare points, put down, I don't even know what we call it, rent. It is a subscription. You're subscribing so you can live in a house. If you don't pay your subscription, you lose access. Why don't we call it a subscription? It's interesting, right? Why don't we call it, it's literally a subscription. Anyways, but everything will eventually come down to subscribe. And you can go do this even, like, here's the thing. There's a reason why piracy is so much on the rise. It's because subscriptions. And they're user unfriendly, they're customer unfriendly. The only thing probably you'll get is that you eventually have to subscribe to like maybe like the main 3. And I'm gonna say this, you know who's at fault for all of this? Majorly, gaming. Because gamers accepted subscriptions.
HP, not content with subscription printer ink, wants me to subscribe to my gaming laptop too? Is nothing sacred? I mean, I shouldn't be too surprised though. We were already in the middle of a video on HP's subscription program for non-gaming laptops when we got this ad for the Omen Gaming subscription program. So of course, now we've got to take a look at what they're offering, even though we've only got hands-on with one of the consumer subscription laptops. To be clear, not all subscriptions are inherently bad or evil. I get a ton of value out of YouTube Premium, for instance, and
with the amount of subscription money I have to pay for subscriptions, they should just come with free hand jobs at this point. At this point, like, bro, if I subscribe to this and I pay this much money for just a subscription, at this point, you gotta, you're gonna one day subscribe just to have a girlfriend or a boyfriend. You'll see. Subscribe to wear clothes. Subscribe to wear shoes. Subscribe to have a garden. Put a tree outside. Everything. PS5 is getting subscriptions, and you won't own the game's graphics. I think I've seen that somewhere. But it's really, it's like funny. It's like funny. Again, apparently, they want to move more and more stuff to the cloud. I'm telling you this, they're doing this so they can control what you consume. They're doing this so they can control what you play, what shows you watch, what movies you watch, what books you read. Because they have the full control over what you can consume by then. I am telling you this. That's the goal. I am spreading conspiracy theories. But as we have known, conspiracy theories are just you being early. He just says this because he's got the money to buy virtually anything, pretty much.
I fully recognize why services that have ongoing costs need to have ongoing fees. And, in fact, on the surface, HP's program here doesn't look like that bad of a deal. But I've been burned before, and I can't help but feel like there must be something hiding under the surface. Like this segue to our sponsor.
Fessy, 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 Fessy. Fessy.
So far looks like a totally normal laptop.
Was he just promoting shoes? Was he just promoting shoes? God damn it, man.
Sir? HP currently includes 4 different options in their consumer subscription program, ranging from about $35 to $85 a month for the unit we've got here. And you know what? It's a nice little machine. The EliteBook 6 G1Q14 AI has an 8-core ARM Snapdragon X Plus, 32 gigs of RAM, a 512 gig SSD, and a 14-inch 1920 by 1200 display. Let's just see how much crap they've preloaded on it. Oh, good lord, the taskbar. With HP's addition of their AI companion, 3 of the 8 items down here are AI tools. That's 3 too many. And even worse, HP's AI companion app will pop up periodically, telling me how much it respects my privacy.
That bitch answers. This is a laptop. It has Windows. That shit ain't respecting my privacy, even if it tried to tell me that. That shit is not respecting my privacy. Get this fucker out of here. Especially that, bro. Stop. We don't need more AI slop programs. Jeez, horrible.
HP, you can right off with that. To their credit though, the system tray is refreshingly empty. HP Wolf Security is in here. That's their endpoint security offering, which I don't know a ton about, but they make all the right noises in their marketing materials, and it seems to be pretty light on system resources. Then the script says to ask if y'all have any experience with it to share, but I'm actually gonna jump in here, Jordan. I tried to remove it from my Daily Driver HP laptop, and what I discovered is that if you uninstall its various pieces in the wrong order, it falls into a circular dependency death spiral where every component of it claims that another component needs to be uninstalled first, and poor Easy Rider 750 here was only able to resolve a similar issue with a full system reformat, so
Wow. Wow, that's great. Interesting. I didn't know that could happen, but that sounds miserable. Awesome. I love miserable things. Here's a question. What if you got this laptop, put the whole U in system? Interesting. I don't know. I wonder. Netflix just rolled out making customers pay for premium audio, also known as FU. I know why it's called that. It's an FU to the customers. If you want the audio that is meant out of your speakers, give us money. Netflix just interesting. So to summarize this, you gotta pay more money for more better audio. Yeah, we're cooked. I know where piracy's winning this war. 100%. It just is. And the more I see shit like this, the more I'm for it.
Let's see what else we got here. Office 365 trial. That's probably fine. What the heck is mobile plans and operators? Oh, that's right. This thing has 5G, and the data plan is actually included in our monthly subscription fee. That totally makes sense then. So overall, as far as major brands go, not great, but not terrible. Still, there's gotta be a gotcha, right? Let's have a look at the terms and conditions. Overall, the program seems pretty straightforward. You pick your laptop, you add your optional peripherals, for a modest additional monthly fee, of course, and you consent to a soft credit check, which I believe means that HP does not see your score or personal credit information, and that it shouldn't impact your credit score. But then again, I'm Canadian and our financial system is based on maple syrup, so your mileage may vary.
Yeah, the Canadians are poor little fellas, not gonna lie. They are. I mean, you gotta try, you have a bunch of people barking up the United States tree and get your ass beat for it. Interesting. Okay, I'm set and kind of happy my work finished early, so I can go out a bit later to around support rally peak. That's nice. That's nice. That's cool.
Assuming you pass the check, you pay your first monthly fee, and then a few days later, your machine shows up in the mail. Then you start your 30-day money-back trial, which was a pretty pleasant surprise for me. It's exactly what it sounds like. Don't like the machine in the first month? You send it back on HP's dime and get a refund. However, if you keep it longer than a month, you are locked in for at least 1 year. So let's take a quick look at the math.
For an entire year? Here's the question though. Do I just continue paying money for it? Or is it just interesting? Interesting. What if I cancel the subscription after a certain amount? Like, do I just have to give back this, like, absolutely violated, like, 2-month-year-old, like a year-old, laptop? How does this work?
On that. MSRP on this model is $3,000 US, and at $85 a month, we're gonna pay about a third of that MSRP during our 1-year lock-in period. That's not terrible, especially when we consider that it includes the data plan for this model, but it's not amazing either. What happens after a year? Well, that's where things get a little bit more interesting. You can cancel without any penalty and return the laptop. You can carry on paying monthly to use it, which is probably what they're hoping you'll do. Or you can upgrade to a new laptop. That's where things get pretty interesting. Also, as part of the subscription, HP provides 24/7 live support with next day replacement if something can't be fixed over the phone, and they give you assistance with data transfer.
What if I trash this laptop before I give them back? Yeah. Like, what if it breaks? What if it just breaks? What if it breaks? Straight up, what if it breaks? I mean, it could, right? It could. You never know. At the end of the day, it is a laptop. These hoggers don't survive that long, in my experience. I've noticed. What if it just breaks in that 1 year period? What happens then? Also, what do they do after that? Like you had it for a year and you send it back? Because I'm guaranteeing you, they're not reselling that thing. They just throw that thing into the trash. That's kind of stupid. That's really stupid.
Transfers and secure data removal if you move to a different machine or you need to send one back to them. All of this makes for what is honestly a pretty appealing sales pitch for the right kind of customer. If, for instance, you are a frequent upgrader, this is kind of like having an extended warranty, a service plan, a data plan, and a device rental all rolled into one. As long as you continue paying your fee and you take advantage of those periodic upgrades, you'll have a modern, working computer at a price that is about the same as rolling a 2 to 3 year upgrade cycle on your own. On the other hand, you will never own this machine, regardless of how long you pay for it. This was another surprise, and this time not a pleasant.
At this point, just like, bro, you had it. If you have this thing for like 2 years, right? Let's say you have this thing for like 2 years. They're still asking you back for it. Like, what would they even do? It just lands in the trash anyways. You're gonna throw this away. This is gonna land in some like landfill in Africa. Or worst case, it just gets shipped to China where they burn it. That's so pointless. But yeah, I wouldn't do this because I just would like to own my shit. It is mine. I'd like to own it. Tech industry communism is real. It is. It is.
One. I kind of figured that, like a lease, there might be an option to buy it out at the end of the term. But no, it must go back to HP when you're done. That means no gifting your old laptop to granny, no repurposing it as a media server, no selling it for a few extra bucks on Marketplace. And on top of that, while HP does seem to expect normal wear and tear on these units, there's no coverage for accidental damage, so it's you break it, you buy it rules. And HP reserves the right to lock down the unit remotely in the event of non-payment. That makes the math we did before a little bit more complicated.
So, to summarize, should it break for some odd reason, right? Should it break? It's over, you buy it. There's no replacement. Funny. Yeah, no, we're good.
And a little less favorable. What if you just spent the $3,000 up front? Sure, in the first couple of years, you will have overpaid compared to your friend who subscribed, but then you are the master of your destiny. You decide when to upgrade, and when you do, you get to sell the unit you own and recoup some of your costs. The question is, how much? Well, we found this model on Facebook Marketplace for about 1,000 Canadian or $750 US, which, oh, well, that's a bit of a double whammy, isn't it? First,
What if I take the SSD out of this that has the Windows and I put the new Linux or a new window in it? I don't know. Here's the thing, right? They looked at Nintendo and the Switch 2 and started salivating. There's that. So for the Switch, at least, well, they can shut down your console if you do something that you shouldn't, I guess. Here's the thing. Okay. Here's the thing. Why would you? Again, you can. The thing's like, can you remove this? Like, could somebody who's skilled enough just like remove the limitation? But then again, they would notice that you're not paying, right? They would notice that you're not paying. So it doesn't really make much sense, right? Even if you did it, even if you remove it, that doesn't really make much sense. That's a question, though. You are right, though. That's a question. If you change the system, right? If you instead have Linux, what would happen? Like, do they consider this damage? That's the question.
it means that the catch-up point to your friend who subscribed is actually even sooner than the initial math would suggest. And second, it means that at $3,000 MSRP, this laptop is probably a pretty bad deal. Maybe even intentionally so to make renting it look like a more appealing option. To really drive this point home, if I wanted this laptop for 3 years, it would actually cost me less to subscribe for 1 year, then cancel my subscription, send the unit back, and then buy the one that I saw on Marketplace. Now, in theory, the counterpoint to this is that I could just trade in and upgrade, and then I wouldn't have this laptop. I'd have a better one. But that assumes that HP is going to be on top of updating the models that they include in the program. And it assumes that they have a new one that I actually like. They have made no promises about that, but to their credit, we have seen at least one update cycle in the consumer program in the 8 or so months that we've had our eye on it.
Here's the thing, though. So basically, right? I didn't see the appeal at all, actually. I don't. And that's mainly due to the fact that I don't own the damn thing, I have to give it back. I mean, at $3,000, that's quite a lot. That is quite a lot, I don't know. And also, there's no safety for if it should break. That's another thing. I'd rather just, like, buy one at that point.
Man, this is ending up pretty complicated, isn't it? But wait, there's more. This subscription program is limited to the US and limited to 1 laptop per household, so no, you can't kit out your media.
So, wait. So you're sick. How would they? Again, so that means that, first of all, only the US people can use it. If I sub to it and I see scratches, I will crash out, pretty much. And so you couldn't just rent more? How do they know if it's like one household? Do they like save it and know which one it is? That's crazy.
Medium-sized business on the cheap, or even your Duggar-sized family. Okay. Whaleland, our old school all-weekend gaming event is back, and it's just around the corner. If you want to play games with your friends, not to mention some members of the LMG team, grab your tickets now at the link down below. We'll be hanging out on February 21st and 22nd. Just head over to whaleland.com to get your tickets or click the link down below. How about the gaming program then? Well, we haven't got our hands on a demo.
How many fucking hats this man has is just crazy. It's just crazy. That's just insane. Oh no, my internet's going bad again. That's not good. Even if they consider the damage, if you cancel the subscription or bought it through a third party and went with Linux, I don't really think they could do anything. Yeah, they probably can't really do anything at all. Okay, here comes the gaming stuff. That's gonna be probably worse. That's gonna be probably worse
For this one. But it appears that it's been quietly running for several months now. Obviously, you get more powerful hardware. I'm talking Ryzen 7 and Core Ultra CPUs as standard, along with discrete NVIDIA graphics up to a 16 gig RTX 5080 and up to 32 gigs of RAM, a terabyte of storage, and large screens with fast refresh rates. But, equally obviously, you pay more for it. Somewhere between $50 up to $130 a month. The terms of the program all look pretty similar, but it looks like HP has mathed their math a little bit differently on these ones, because the gaming models have you paying just shy of half of the MSRP in the first year, no matter which model you pick. I'm not completely sure what that means. Did they find the 3-year payback wasn't profitable enough?
So they practically... So to simplify it, they practically just made it more expensive. Is that what this is? They practically just made it more expensive. But I figure that this is the Oblivion Host Armor DLC of buying a computer. They're just trying to see who's dumb enough to agree to this and normies are in line to the slaughter 1984 style. Probably.
Do they expect gamers to be harder on these machines, making the B-stock returns worth less? Do they expect the usable life cycles to be shorter for performance reasons? It's hard for us to know for sure, but what's clear is that they're after a faster return on their hardware investment. With all that said, they're still not a terrible deal if you would be a frequent upgrader anyway, and you're on the ball about getting a new machine on your subscription the moment that you're able to. Doing some quick math, the second best gaming laptop is $80 a month. You go ahead and throw in a Game Pass subscription for, 20 bucks a month? That's $1,200 a year for solid performance in hundreds of games. You'll own nothing, but you might at least
You want nothing, but you might at least be a little happy.
have the perception of being happy about it. And if we're being honest, it's not like buying these games means you own them anymore anyway. With that said, with that 2-year payoff period, the gaming models will turn into a bad deal a lot faster than the consumer models if you aren't the kind of person who would be upgrading every single
So the gaming stuff is worse. Wow. Wow. Okay.
time that new hardware comes up, and especially if you get lazy and you don't upgrade your subscription. Also, I just straight up cannot recommend this one to anyone who typically resells or reuses their old hardware. A 2-year-old gaming laptop is still a very capable little piece of kit, and it would be nice to still have around when you start paying for your new one. Bottom line, subscriptions like this, they don't seem quite so crazy anymore. Have we all just been Stockholm syndromed into acceptance? I'm not sure. But as long as we don't end up with abusive cancellation policies, and we maintain the ability to buy the same hardware outright if we want to, I don't mind having the choice to have a subscription. By the way, HP, those last 2 things, those were dystopian. Those were not suggestions. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to go renew the subscription to the heated seats in my car. While I'm gone, by the way, feel free to check out this message from our sponsor.
Yeah, I'm not gonna watch that. Interesting. So basically, the laptops have discovered you will own nothing and you'll be happy. That's the summary of the whole thing. Pretty much. That's all there is to it. That's all there is to it. They discovered you'll own nothing and you'll be happy. Anyways, like, comment, and subscribe.